We are here with our Friday Live rendition of the Friday Live training, and we will be recording this and sharing it in case you miss it. But if you are live, please feel free. Ask questions, pop in the chat. You can watch us on YouTube or on Facebook, and hopefully you will join us. And if you have questions, throw them out there because if you have a question, I'm sure someone else does as well. So we're going to get started. Today's topic is how data can help you find the right BRRRR. So let me dive right in. I don't want to spend too much time beating around the bush. This is straight to the activity that can get you deals. We're here to get you actionable steps, get you out there taking action. Sometimes it may be uncomfortable, but let's face it, that's what we need to succeed, right? Is to get a little uncomfortable. So I'm Andrew with the Deal Finders Club. Yes, we have local events, but also we have a program, we have a system that works anywhere. So whether you're in South Carolina, great, glad to have you here, or somewhere else. We are excited to share with you how this works for us and how it can work for you. So, real estate investing has been around a long time. And if you're watching this and if you stick around, it's probably because you realized real estate investing can help you build wealth, create some cash flow, some passive income, or maybe even help you get out of a job that you don't love anymore, right? Create some financial freedom. So if you've figured out that that is for you, then stick around. We're going to help you with some details of how to make that happen. Because ultimately, what we find and what happened to us many years ago was that the fear of making mistakes, the fear of going at this and kind of maybe looking silly, will keep you from actually benefiting from what real estate has to offer. And so we're going to talk about the BRRRR strategy. And so you may not know what that is, and I'm not going to dive too deep into all the details of the BRRRR because, well, next week we have a live event where I'm going to do that. And I have a podcast about that, so you can search it if you need to. But today is more about how to use data to find good deals and ultimately BRRRR them or flip them or whatever you need to do. So let's talk about that. What does that mean? So when I say BRRRR, that's where we buy the house, renovate it, rent it, refinance it. Okay, it's just a method of buying rental properties, building cash flow, building equity. So that's what we do for the BRRRR method. Sorry, and then you can also use the same data to find good flips. But ultimately, what we have to do is use the data for our benefit because I don't know about y'all, but I cannot look through every property that's listed on the MLS. I can't look through every single deal I get to my inbox. If you're not getting deals to your inbox, let me know. Send me a message. I will give you the first 6 things to do to get deals straight to your inbox. But if you're looking on the MLS, like if you go right now in our little tiny town multiple listing service with all the real estate agents, there's like 3,400 properties out there, and we can't search through all of those to find a good deal. So that's why we have to use data. We have to use what's available to us, but you don't want to just stick with the surface level. If you dive in deep, you can actually find good deals right now. So let's use this. I'm going to use the system that we use right now. And again, if you have questions, let me know to dive in and do the data. But let me give you a couple of the key details, key ingredients of a good BRRRR deal so that you know what we're looking for when we hop into the data. So we've got the BRRRR needs to start with a good discounted property. The property should be at a discount because for the BRRRR to work, we're going to have to refinance out. So we've got to get a property that's at a discount. Being able to add value through renovations is also a big benefit. Now, sometimes you don't have to if you can just get a really good deal, but generally you're going to upgrade it, update it, so that you can increase the value of the property. Having great rental demand, having a property that people want to live in, right? A neighborhood, an area, a city, a town where there's rental demand is huge. That way you can put somebody in it. And then the refinance potential, right? What is the potential ARV? How high can that property be worth? How high can we go with it, right? We want to buy lower and, of course, increase the value through renovations, through a good rental, through a good tenant, and then we'll get that refi. Okay, so most people get to this point and they fail. A lot of times, well, I say most of the time, it's not because of the lack of the discount deals, discount properties. They're out there. The problem is more of the lack of. Oh, there we go. I see Graham. What's up, Graham? Yes, we're still going down. um, so we are. It's not the lack of the deals. It's the lack of being able to find the deals, to source them, to get through, like to filter all that stuff that's being thrown at us. That's the problem we have. And let's face it, you are probably here. If you're watching this, you probably have something else going on, right? Real estate is something you're starting or have been doing and maybe doing it on the side, and now you're ready to kick it into full gear. And so we don't have 40, 50, 60 hours to spend to this most of the time, to spend on real estate investing. So we've got to filter the data. And a lot of people we work with, especially our deal partners, they found that this is the place for them. Real estate, they know it's great. They know it's the place for them to grow and to build, but it's they don't want to go out there and just try the trial and error. That let me test this, see if it works. You need proven methods, proven strategies, and proven data. That's what we use the data for. So we're not guessing, right? We can't predict the future, but we can use what's out there and available to give us an idea and to reduce the risk of going into these properties and going into these deals. So if you're just chasing all these properties, you're chasing all these houses that are for sale, and they're not really even close to being a potential, you'll wear yourself out. You feel like a hamster on the wheel, just like you do probably at that 9 to 5, and you'll quit. You won't even get to the first deal. You won't be able to take action making offers. So let me just get into this. Let me get into this data. Let me show you how we do this. I'm going to spend just a few minutes on it. If you have questions, let me know. I'm going to share my screen because that's how I like to learn. I like to learn by seeing and doing. If you're like that, you would be a good partner for us, right? We like to teach by showing and doing. Let's get to the share the screen. There it goes. All right, I'm going to share this screen, and I'm going to just talk you through the data that we look for so that you can do the same thing. All right, you can do exactly the same thing. Just follow these steps to find a BRRRR property, and it's probably sitting in front of you right now. All right, so I'm at dealfinderdata.com. This is a fantastic place to go. If you are buying or searching data from somewhere else, that's fine. No big deal. I will say that we've got the best, but I'm just a little bit biased. The people that we work with that do this behind the scenes are phenomenal. So I'm just going to put in here Columbia, South Carolina. Why not? All right. Again, I'm biased. I like this city. I like this town. I think it's got a lot going for it. But what I'm going to show you, you could do it anywhere. All right. So we want to filter. Let me see. How many properties are there? 105,000. We can't go through all those to figure out where there's a good deal. So let's start filtering. All right. There's a few ways to do that. I'm going to show you the best right now that will get you quickly to some properties you should be looking at. All right, let's look at, this is the most underrated opportunity. You hear a lot of times off-market deals, off-market deals. Yes, you should get some off-market deals, but it's really easy to find a deal today, like right now, if you talk to someone that's already said they're ready to sell. They already put a billboard out that says I'm ready to sell. So let's check those active listings. Now, this will tell us right here, we have 1,300. Wow. I can't go through 1,300 on this live. It would take us forever, right? And it'll take you forever. And again, you'll get burned out. You won't be able to get to even an offer, right? So let's talk about how can we reduce that. Well, let's reduce that based on some things that we already know about the property or that have already been shared about the property. First thing, let's go to listing info. How long has it been on the market? Remember, yep, doing real estate investing, it's not about the real estate. It's about the people. We are trying to find the people that will work with us, that their needs match with our needs. We can't force people to sell us a property at a discount. You can't go twist their arms, and you can't be no matter how good you think you are on speech and trying to you have good sales tactics or whatever. Like, you just can't force people. It's got to be a match. So their need and your need match, and you're able to come together to make the deal work. So let's find some people that might have a need that we can help solve, which would be people that's properties have been out there for a little while. So let's look at listings that have been on the market for, say, 90 plus days. Depending on your market size, depending on how big the original list was, you might drop this down to even 120 plus. But when the property's been out there that long, the sellers start to get a little bit antsy and anxious, and like they want to sell. They're ready to move. Okay, they're ready to get this thing done. So let's look at that. So 90 plus days, perfect. And one other thing I like to use, because we're trying to find a deal like right now. We want to find someone in a property that's willing to go at a discount today. I really like to deal with and talk to other landlords or other companies, businesses, people that own these properties as an asset as an investment asset. Now, obviously, you can buy it from Joe Schmo, Mama Sue, anybody else that owns it. But if you're trying to do something today, I can tell you, working with another company gets a little bit easier because it becomes a business transaction. So I like to look at, let me go back to the top, ownership info. Let's see how many of these are owned by businesses. Oh, just 52. Pretty good. Pretty good. So let's look at 52 that's plenty, but I am going to go ahead and lower my purchase price. This is where you have to know your local market a little bit. So what is the average price of your market? What is the average rent in your market? You want to make sure that you're not going out there looking at houses that are double the average. It's going to be hard to rent to cover your basis and cover your rent, your mortgage. So I like to look at something under 200, maybe 250. So let's look at listing info price. Let's do 200. And we end up with 31. Let's look at these 31. Let's see if there's anything worth scrolling through. Okay, so now we have 31 properties that have been on the MLS for over 90 days. And these are people that are probably ready to sell and maybe even make a good deal, right? So you can go through these. I don't know why this is the same one over and over again. Here we go. There's something different. Let's look at this guy. All right. This is a great property. Now we've filtered all the data. We've spent, how long have I been here? 7 minutes looking at this instead of, what was it, 105,000 possible houses. Now we're down to 30, and now we found one that looks like it could be promising. And so let's just take a peek and see what would the rent be. Rent somewhere around 11, 12, $1,300. That's pretty good. And they're asking looks like they're asking 137.5. It's not terrible. Pretty good, pretty good. Now let's look at, now we're seeing a property that can rent for about a 1% rule now. And guys, I know there's probably some stuff I'm saying that you don't, if you haven't heard BRRRR before, this is brand new. Tomorrow, Tuesday is the live event. That'll be available. If you're not local, you can catch it. We will send it out. But if you're local, you want to be there so you can ask questions, and I'll share all this. We'll do case studies, and then next Friday's live at this time, I'll do the same thing where I dive deeper into what the actual BRRRR is. Right now, I'm kind of just trying to talk about how to use the data to get to the BRRRR. So if I'm saying stuff you don't understand, just leave a message, leave a comment, reach out to me, and I can fill those blanks in for you. But what I want to make sure is that you all know that there are ways to get into this business, to mitigate your risk, to learn the market, to figure out which properties have potential while you still have your life going on. You can still invest and do this business while you have your day job, while you have your kids running around, while you're coaching softball or baseball or whatever it is. This business can be done if you use the right systems and tools and data to speed it up, right? Everybody loves AI, and we have some AI in this, but the AI everywhere else, we have that. You have ways to speed it up, have ways to mitigate your risk, and to allow you to do this business while doing other things. Data is such a big part of that, and I know we hired somebody on our team, and she was blown away by the amount of data and info and just stuff that's at our fingertips. And I know there's many of you that don't know that. And so you're afraid to get into the business. You're afraid to take the next step because you're afraid that you won't know how to get through the next step to the one beyond that. So I encourage you to jump in, look and see what info you already have, and get started. So I wanted to just show you the next piece to this to make this potentially a good BRRRR is we've found the rent rate, we found the asking price. Now, are there comps that would allow us to refinance out of this, right? We know we can, the price to buy, we know what the rent is. We will look at the pictures and the reports to see what the renovation would be. But if we are going to refi, we've got to have a place to grow this value. The comps have to be a little higher. So this data is there. The data is already there. So I'm just going to click the button. I know in the old days this would take hours. We couldn't do this on a Facebook live stream. So I'm just going to take this little neighborhood right here, and obviously that is not the same. So I'm just going to click on these, give them a little checkbox. We're going to have a little data report in just a sec. What's this one? I'm going to take, I don't want the highest and I don't want the lowest. It's just a data thing. I don't want to have the highest and I don't want to have the lowest. Those are outliers. All right. So then I'm going to go up here. We are looking at average of 129 a square foot. And if I run my math, 129 times the square foot of our property is 1132. If you're following along, that's like 146,000. This property that we are looking at is not going to be a great BRRRR unless we can get it lower, get the price lower, or we can verify that perhaps this 193 is a better comp than these 125s. So we'd have to see what the comp is, and I'm just doing this really quick. But if it was truly more like a 193 house or a 200 house, that was a 155 per square foot. I'm sorry if I'm losing any of y'all. That means it could be worth at a refinance 175,000. So now if it's that, we have a good potential BRRRR, and this is a property I would go make an offer or go do an inspection, look at it, make the offer, and try to buy and do the BRRRR process. They're out there, y'all. Of course, this took me 7 minutes, and I just found one that's got a lot of potential. You can do this exact same thing over and over and over again. If you do one a month, you end up building your wealth, building your cash flow, and building towards your goals, right? So that's what I wanted to show you all today. I do hope that you have a fabulous weekend, fabulous day. We have our events coming up. If you don't know where to find that, go to dealfindersclub.com. There's an events tab or /events, or there's the events tab up top. You can find us on meetup.com as well, and then our Facebook group. Facebook group, REI Deal Finders, is the best place to get plugged in to a community of new and experienced investors that are out there actually doing the business. We're there to share, to help, and to build businesses. So I invite y'all to join us. If you're not following the podcast, the Real Estate Deal Finders podcast, go find that. And then Real Estate Deal Finders on YouTube as well. So join us wherever you are, wherever you're watching or listening. Love to see you there, and reach out to me. Send me a message, send me a comment. If you really are kind of stuck, not sure what your next step is, which happens all the time, I know there's 70,000 different ways to join into real estate investing. There's lots of podcasts, lots of YouTube channels, lots of courses and classes and coaches, and it can all be confusing, and I get it. So I have 15 minutes on my calendar set aside just for you if you want just to share where you want to be, share what you're trying to do, and I can try to point you in the direction that might help. All right. So, only way to figure that out is if we do have a quick chat. So, I got 15 minutes on my calendar for you. Go to dealfindersclub.com to do that. Until then, y'all go get out there and find your next deal. I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.